Special meeting of council. The city of Parcel recognizes the people of the Coast Salish nations and their traditional territory, upon which we gather with gratitude. Under reports, the first report is from the Director of Finance, the amended 2024 to 2028 final financial plan to approve council with the amended 2024-2028 final financial plan bylaw. Do I have a mover and a Oh, are you just young? Okay. Anxious. Do I have a mover or seconder for the recommendation, please? Moved by Councillor Beal, seconded by Councillor Wood. Any further discussion? That's okay. Thank you. So this is under the final financial plan. I'm going to ask if there's anyone in the audience that has any questions at this time, if they could come to the mic. Sure. Right now would be perfect. Thank you. Yes, this is the first one. So yeah, take your time.
Two questions, and perhaps I forgot about that. Two questions. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and councillors. Perhaps they can be answered either at this meeting or sometime after. The first question is, I'm hoping that the city can find some money in the budget to repaint the lane lines on the Port Alberni Highway leading into Parksville. And the reason I ask this is I believe we are heading for a major accident on this stretch of the highway adjacent to Buckersfields, as drivers cannot see the lane lines and are consequently driving outside their lane. Considering that many drivers also ignore the 50K speed limit, I think the situation is dangerous and that the problem could be tolerably rectified by clearly painted lane lines on this stretch of road. Oh, and I forgot to give my name at the beginning.
Yes.
My name is Elaine Lefebvre and I live at 284 Chestnut Street here in Parksville.
Thanks, Elaine.
So that was my first question.
Okay, why don't you give us both, and then I'm going to let our CAO give you some background on the requesting what you're requesting, and so I'll give her a couple minutes to work on her reply and go ahead with your next question.
Okay, my second question is, I noticed that when I was looking through Let's Talk Parksville, there was a notice that in regards to our water saving strategy, residential swimming pools and business operations that require water for their operations are exempt. So I have to wonder, how will this save water, especially when we get into the summer months with no rain? And those are my two questions.
Thanks, Elaine. I'll touch on that one somewhat anyways. We're currently, as of May 1, going to stage 2 water conservation levels and so forth. And so at this particular point, the individuals that have pools and so forth for the businesses or otherwise, or if you have a pool in your backyard, you are allowed to use the water anyways to fill your pool. When it gets to stage 3, then there's more restrictions that are put in place. And then when it gets to stage 4, is absolutely a restriction that says you cannot fill your pool. Anyone cannot fill the pool, whether you're a commercial business and so forth at that stage 4. But it's all a progressive situation, stage 2, 3, and 4, recognizing that all the different stages that the city of Parksville goes to is due to conservation measures. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to conserve the water that we have and so forth that's in our aquifers, and we're trying to encourage the people and the businesses of Parksville to support that goal. And so that's why we go to the different stages. We work in conjunction very tightly with the RDN
Yes.
are the electoral areas as well as the town of Qualicum Beach, so that we're somewhat unified in our delivery of services. And that's the goal. I'm not sure. Does that answer your question?
Yes, I think pretty well. I think
Okay.
that the exemptions could probably come in a bit sooner than stage 4 because it's kind of worrisome what we're going to be facing again this summer. And there's a constant concern about forest fires as well in our area and around the whole region. But anyways, I understand your answer.
Yes, but
so-
I can actually confirm as well that Parksville, as it is right now, has sufficient water for all of that. We have sufficient. We're not going to run out. We won't. We want to encourage people to conserve. That's what we really want to do. But we are in no danger with our current population, our current usage levels that we have. We will not run out of water. We have sufficient water in our in between the Englishman River, the aquifers, and our drilled wells as well. But we are very cognizant of the fact that swimming pools, power washers, and that type of thing take an extremely large amount of water, and we really don't want that activity to happen in the very typical drought months. We used to be typical. They seem to be expanding now, unfortunately, but we don't want to have any of that activity at that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
That we're aware of that, and I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yes,
That's
okay. So you can stay here, Elaine, just in case. For your first question, you were asking about the painting lines in front of Buckerfields on the Alberni Highway. CAO Kaler, can you comment on the process on line painting? And there was some talk about actually expanding the left-hand turn lane in front of the Buckerfields operation there. I'm not sure, was that ever finished, or has the lane painting been done in that area?
Thank you, if I may, through the mayor. So some of that area is actually outside of the city, but that's really where the boundary of the city is. So the ministry added a new traffic light relatively recently. And there is, can't hear? Is this not working?
Not very well.
I think it's working, but so the ministry added the lights relatively recently. Well, maybe it was a couple of years ago now. And then, yes, I don't have an update on discussions about adding the new lane for Buckerfields, but I know it has been discussed with our staff. We just put out the RFP, which is a request for proposals for the line painting contract for the city. So operations prioritizes areas like crosswalks, what we call stop bars at intersections, and other high traffic areas. And so that contract is, I believe, multi-year in the budget. And they would prioritize that based on standards for safety across the whole city. So I'll pass that along and maybe find out what the schedule is, if we know of that yet for that area. And we can let council and yourselves know. And then I can also get an update for Ms. Lefebvre on the Buckerfields upgrades, whether that's advancing or where that's at, but I don't know that off the top of my head.
Right, and thank you, and that's pretty well what I was hoping for. So the RFP is going out right now, as we understand, for the lane markings throughout the city. The engineering department usually does a prioritization based on need. They identify where they are. Rest assured that with your comments that you've made here today, Elaine, that the engineering department will have a maybe an extra hard look at that area that you're suggesting that needs better lane markings, and maybe could be a priority if when the contract is let for the lane marking individuals, which is the time of year when we do the line painting. So I thank you for your suggestion, and and I want to make sure that we have your contact information. I know I've seen. Oh, okay, there we are. If you could leave. Elaine, you sent me emails in the past, but if you could leave your email address to with our CAO before you leave here today, and we'll just make a note that when we get the definitive timeline, that we will specifically answer your question, but when you can expect it. Okay. Okay. You did it. Okay. Okay. And if you have any other questions, I'll just put up your hand. Okay, that's fine. You're here, so you're part of the team here. Okay, thank you. Okay, so all those in favor? Okay, you found your question. Okay, sorry. We're still on, number one, the, 2028 final financial plan. You have a question on that one? No. Okay, it's on the floor still. All those in favor? That carries unanimous. Thank you. Moving forward. The next report from the Director of Finance is the 2024 municipal property tax rates to provide information to council regarding the 2024 tax rates bylaw. Do I have a mover or seconder for the recommendation? Moved by Councillor Gore, seconded by Councillor Grims. Any questions or discussion? Councillor Gore.
Thank you, Mayor. So this is, I guess, question is to yourself or Councillor Wood, who sit on the RDN board. If you can speak a little bit to the RDN community wastewater increase. Is it for the wastewater treatment plant expansion? And also for the hospital district? I know Councillor Wood has been working on with the hospital district and what this additional amount is for. Are you aware?
I don't think this is the proper course because we're discussing the city of Parksville's. Are you suggesting the tax rate as assessed by the RDN? Sorry?
Sorry, the $75, which is estimated increase for a household, average household. For the hospital.
Yes. So you're talking about the NRG increase, what it is?
Yes.
I would suggest you post your comment to the
Okay.
RDN.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, or quite frankly, Councillor Wood or myself can talk to you outside of the meeting here and let you know about the difference on the NRGH, on what our priorities are, and maybe to provide you some more information as to possible increases.
Thank you. I was hoping more for public information, but that's fine. My other question is, so the 6.6 is the increase, but what is the total increase, including the RDN portion and the, are we aware? Like, we don't have a number here, or maybe I have missed it are we looking at 7.2? Like, what it is all amount to, including the library and everything?
If I
Good,
may,
thanks. COO Kaler, if
Yeah.
you could provide a total amount in between the.
I'm not sure if we calculate it that way. I'm just, the CFO is online, but we only collect, we only calculate the percentage on our portion.
That's right.
Normally, though, we collect about, for the taxes that we collect, about 50% of it is the cities. So we collect taxes for lots of other agencies. And I'm not sure that we could calculate the percentage of theirs because it would be a different whole, like the 100% would be different across the areas. So for the cities, it's 6.6%. And we usually do that on the 5-year cycle. So there was already an increase in there for the 5 years. And if you'll recall throughout the process, that went up and down as council made decisions on what to fund and where priorities were to go. We don't control the other agencies' taxes. So we just collect those on their behalf. But as the mayor was mentioning, for the RDN and the hospital taxes, that rate is set elsewhere. And the percentage is based on a much wider area, not the city taxation budget.
Thank you. And then Councillor Wood can maybe provide a little more in-depth of maybe to help you just from our RDN experience, but.
Thank you, thank you, Mayor.
Generally, that question would be posted to the RDN because they have their own financial plan that includes that. But anyway, that Councillor Wood, maybe if you could put some light on it.
Well, I won't go in too much in depth, Mayor. Thank you. And CEO Kaler did a great job. For the people who are watching or listening, anything to do with the RDN, the best route is to go to the RDN with your questions. The RDN is a huge matrix of services that one property might be part of this service and might not be a property of this, might not be under this service. And so it's much more complicated than the city of Parksville tax rates. Just a quick look at the wastewater treatment or the hospital board. There's major capital costs at the RDN that are that we need property taxes, of course, to pay for. We have received some grants and we will be getting some cost sharing on the hospital Regional Hospital District Board side of things, but the best place to go with Regional District of Nanaimo questions is to RDN staff, and that contact information is available on the RDN website.
Yes, and the key point as well is to, if it goes through the RDN is at that time you would identify where you live. Because it varies very much so in City Parksville, because some areas are actually within City Parksville. Some areas that people think they're in Parksville, but they're actually in an electoral district. And so they could identify with the RDN they live in, whatever district they live in, or the City of Parksville, and they can get what their RDN portion is going to be of the financial. So that would, anybody that's listening, that would be the good place to start. Is go directly to the, and they have people that will give that information right away. So any further questions? All those in favor? That carries unanimous. Thank you. The next report is the 2024 sanitary sewer utility rate increases to adjust the sewer utility user rates and the sewer parcel tax rate. Do I have a mover or seconder for the recommendation? Moved by Councillor Wood, seconded by Councillor Beal. Any discussion? All those in favor? Carries unanimous. Thank you. Next report is regarding the 2024 water utility rate increases to adjust water utility user rates and the water parcel tax rate. Moved or seconded for the recommendation. Moved by Councillor Gren, seconded by Councillor Beal. Any discussion? Thank you. All those in favor? Carries unanimous. Thank you. Under bylaws, we have 3 readings for the 5-year financial plan amendment bylaw 2024 to 2028, number 1590. Amendments to the 2024 to 2028 financial plan. Do I move or second for the recommendation? Moved by Councillor Wood, seconded by Councillor Gore. Any discussion? All those in favor? There's unanimous. Thank you. Next bylaw for 3 readings is the tax rates bylaw 2024 number 1591 regarding the 2024 property tax rates. So I move it a seconder for the recommendation as noted. Moved by Councillor Wood, seconded by Councillor Beal. Any discussion? All those in favor? Thank you. 3 readings under bylaws again. Sanitary and Storm Sewerage System Amendment Bylaw 2024, number 1319.21, regarding the 2024 sewer user rates. By mover and seconder for the recommendation. Moved by Councillor Wood, seconded by Councillor Beal. Any discussion? All those in favor? Thank you. It's unanimous. Carries. We have bylaw for 3 readings. The Water Service System Amendment Bylaw 2024, number 1320.33, regarding the 2024 water user rates. By mover seconder for the recommendation. Moved by Councillor Grenz, seconded by Councillor Gore. Any discussion? All those in favor? Carries unanimous. Thank you. Next one for 3 readings is a sewer parcel tax amendment bylaw 2024, number 1493.11, regarding 2024 sewer parcel tax rates. I have a mover seconder for the recommendation. Moved by Councillor Beal, seconded by Councillor Grenz. Any discussion? All those in favor? Carries unanimous. Thank you. 3 readings for the water parcel tax amendment bylaw 2024, number 1494.9, regarding the 2024 water parcel tax rates. I have a mover or seconder for the recommendation. Moved by Councillor Wood, seconded by Councillor Beal. Any discussion? Thank you. All those in favor? Carries unanimous. I have one notice of motion on the agenda that I'd like to put forward at this point. I would like to move that the motion to appoint to the sorry. I would like to make a motion regarding the appointment to the Oceanside Task Force on Homelessness. I would like to move the following, that Councillor M. Beal be appointed as Councillor Liaison to the Oceanside Task Force on Homelessness. I'm looking for a seconder. Seconded by Councillor Wood. Any discussion at this particular point? Oh, okay. Yes, absolutely. Councillor Beal.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I'd like to thank you for this. I have looked at my schedule and I can make this work. And as an aside, I was liaison to the task force a number of years ago when I was previously on council. So I hope that my background there will be of some benefit, slipping into to take over from Councillor Martin, who did a wonderful job, but needs to step back for other reasons. So thank you for putting my name forward.
I'm sure your talents will be well used. Thank you very much for putting your name forward. Thank you for that. Any further discussion? Councillor Grants.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I know she's not here today, but I would like to just thank Councillor Martin for her service in this role, and thank Councillor Beal for stepping up to take over. And I think we've been well served by Councillor Martin and the council in that position, and I'm sure that tradition will be continued with Councillor Beal.
Thank you, Councillor Grants. All those in favor? It carries unanimous. Thank you. You are officially now the new liaison. So do I have, before I go into the special business and move it into close, is there any further questions from the audience? Yes, thank you very much for attending. Yes, take care. Do I have a mover or seconder for the recommendation pursuant to section 91 G and K of the Community Charter that council proceed to a closed meeting to consider items relating to litigation or potential litigation and negotiations and related discussions respecting the proposed provision of a municipal service? A mover and a seconder for, moved by Councillor Wood, seconded by Councillor Beal. All those in favor? It carries unanimous. Thank you, council. We'll move into